And we're live. See? Unless I lost you, and I'd be super sad. Y'all had lost them. There they are. Yay. Are we coming in clear, guys? Oh, there they are. Got your back. Yay.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey, everybody.
What's going
Welcome
on?
in.
Yeah, look, I think we had a bit of a connection issue. Sorry about that.
Yeah, Cam had Messenger running in the background. So once I closed Facebook Messenger, boom, you came back. So.
No, I have that. Like, if I try to play YouTube while I'm live on YouTube, it breaks my computer. The brain just stops. But yeah, by the way, you guys, hi to everybody in the chat and shout out. This is Lilac. This is, well, do you want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, I'm Elise from.
I'm Oscar. Nice to meet you guys.
Yeah, I'm the lead singer, and he is the rapper of our. Yeah, we're a dual vocalist band.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're the voices, right?
Yeah, we're
between the two of you. And anybody that caught Nick's live a little bit ago, he reacted to one of their songs.
Oh, great!
He did it on.
That's awesome.
He did that on Twitch, and he was talking about how the way you guys layer in the vocals and with the rap versus like the clean vocals, and when you get real loud, it's like, but the way you do it is done really well. He was talking all about that, and I agree with him. You guys kick ass. Everyone that I've introduced you guys to, they're like, oh, they're fire. They're amazing. I'm like, I know. They are.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, well, Kat, thank you so much for having us on the show.
No, I'm stoked. I know you guys have been super busy. You guys have been touring and you've been doing album stuff and music video stuff. You've been doing all the things, everything.
Yeah. We finished our tour with New Year's Day. And then we were ready to get back in the studio. We wanted to try something new, like writing with actual like writers and seeing how that dynamic works between, because we've always written just the three of us. Oscar, me, and Cam will sit in a room and we write music. But we wanted to be able to like incorporate other writers and see how that kind of flows, because I know that that's later on as you get further in the industry, it's good to kind of get out those kinks like early on to find out what works for you and what doesn't work for you.
Yeah.
And so we met with Tommy Kane and Tyler Connolly from Theory of a Dead Man. And we sat there for 4 days straight. We wrote 4 songs.
We basically spent January in California.
Yeah,
it was a great time, and a lot to what Elise is saying. Just getting the experience of being able to work with like fresh minds and like different people from like different areas of music in general. Just was like really cool to see how we all just collided together and crashed and argued and yelled and no, it was a great time.
Absolutely. No, yeah. I'm a big proponent of collaboration between people.
Yeah.
Because if you can bring something and they can bring something, I don't see any reason that that's a bad. I think that's always a good thing, even if it doesn't work out in the long run. I mean, you can't not walk away from there with some type of knowledge that you didn't have before.
Agreed. Yeah, I think one thing that we really learned about ourselves is that we aren't going to be able to write where we aren't going to be able to take like karaoke songs. You know what I'm saying? If somebody else wrote it and we don't feel it in some way, like it's not going to work, So, and also we really enjoy being unique and adding like weird, unique sounds and trying to be more modern than like we want to create a sound ourselves, you know what I'm saying? And so when we it's like when you first start writing with writers, it's like a date, and so you don't know whether you should rely on them to write the music or whatever. And then it was just what flowed best for us was Cam. He's always written our instrumentals, Oscar and I write the lyrics and the vocal melodies and stuff after that. And so we thought that, well, let's get weird. Let's make these famous writers hear our stuff, like we don't need to start with them. Like, let's have Cam just show them something weird, some great unique sounds and some instrumentals, and we'll start from ours, that way it's still true to us what we vibe with. And then and then we drove the lyrics and everything like that, so the lyrics are still completely from us, and we felt them, we came up with the concepts, and it just pushed the boundaries, I think, of what we've ever written. Wanted to impress people, so I think it was like so I think we just like really pushed our boundaries in every way. Like, I got more vulnerable than I've ever been.
And really, from like how we started this project, I mean, Lylvc in general started as a big collab, Elise coming to it as a singer, me coming to it as a rapper, Cam's background of electronic music, everyone played like hard rock, metal, like growing up, and we literally just tried to like collect what would happen, and a lot of it didn't work. Right, we spent hours and hours, and I think that's the really cool part of the process. We learned a lot, kind of like Elise was saying, like we learned like sharpening ourselves like with each other, and then taking that to take it to the next level, be able to work with like artists who are just, we've looked up to over the years, and have the opportunity to work with people who have been in the industry for so long and just feeling it out, like
and it felt really good because, like, to look up to somebody so big in the industry, and you just wrote a song with them, and for them to like leave the studio, they haven't even gotten home yet, and they're already calling your manager saying like, this is a hit, like, holy crap, that band is fantastic, they wrote a hit, like, they are so talented, like, to say great that was huge. We were like, oh, thank you, I appreciate it, and it was
It's
just
gotta
really
feel
nice.
good.
We've been working hard.
I mean,
So we went back to the studio. We recorded those songs after we got done writing. We have a music video coming out called Into Nothing. We just filmed it with Scott Hansen, and it's insane. We've tried to like I don't know if you've seen our music videos, but we've like really tried to push the like how crazy our music videos get every time. So hopefully, like this one, it's definitely
out
pushes.
there.
It's out there. And so we're going to be announcing the release date for the music video very soon. We have some big things on the horizon, like a potential tour, and a big festival coming up that's with Saint Asonia and POD. It's the Oyster Bake Festival in San Antonio, Texas. So lots on the horizon. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. And you know what? I'm actually going to get into it a little bit with you on the music videos.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, I'd love to touch on that. By the way, shout out to everybody who's coming through. I see people swinging through, just showing love if they can't stay. That's fine.
Hello.
Later. Thank you guys
we appreciate each and every one of you, and it just makes me so happy because they're all saying hi to each other because they know each other, which I think is awesome.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's an amazing community, and they're super supportive. So, but no, your music videos are ridiculous. I mean, honestly. I mean, so okay, let me just start with, for example, you've got Perfect Drug. Like I said, I had Nick reacting to that tonight. I just wanted, people in the community in general, I wanted people to have an opportunity. It's also in the reel that I posted on Instagram and on stories and stuff. That's the one that I clipped to use that for promo because I don't know, there's something about the way you did your hair and the thing and the Princess Leia things that like really did it for me. I don't know why, but that whole concept was, I thought it was awesome. You looked beautiful. And Oscar, you were like, pimp mode on that one. That was fun.
I told you, I love it. I love it. Wears the big freaking coat. It's just so larger than life.
She's in love with that coat.
I am. I want him to wear it all the time. Summer festivals, wear the coat.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. You have to install a fan inside of it, but you can still use it. But no,
she has the ideas.
No,
she has the good ideas.
I wore it for one performance, and literally, I was like, "Yeah, I'm about to strut off on stage, looking cool." And I was like pouring sweat halfway into the first song. I was dying. I was like about a kilo. I was like, "Okay, it's a little warm on stage, guys."
Fans loved it though. Fans loved it though. That's all.
You really can. I'm telling you, you really can. There's a way to do it, and I know people that can do this. By the way, you can basically have like a cooling system in it. And especially if you're not using it for more than like, let's say you're doing it for one song. If you're doing it for the entire set, that's different. But if you're doing it for like one song, just like to emphasize or even coming out with it, where they can run there's two ways. You can either have like the whole system in there, right? Where it's blowing air, like keeping you cool, or the one where it has like kind of like water. You know, you can just rig it.
Oh,
I mean, there's ways to rig it up that way. People do it all the time. And then you could, when you take it off, it's just, whatever, and you move on. But there are ways to do it if you really, really want that coat, because you just can't be overheating and passing
oh
out
my
on
God, I did
stage.
not
I
get
mean,
your ideas. But that sounds pretty cool. I might have to try
Perfect.
that. But yeah,
no, but
we absolutely loved everything about that video. I mean, it was so much fun. We were exhausted. It was what, like a 14, 15 hour shoot,
Yeah,
all in one
nonstop.
day, nonstop, moving from scene to scene to scene. And I mean, if you've seen it, like you see how many like different outfits and scenes and like things we were moving around. Like it was a wild day.
Yeah, like I
well,
mean, like I had I think 8 outfits just myself. Like, if you count like every single one, like I had like the dress with a 15-foot train that I had like a lady in Clayton make. Like it was gigantic. That train was huge. And the like corset with the huge ice crown, we just wanted to be like the perfect drug in every way, and it's so great. Those outfits were
no,
awesome.
no, it was definitely awesome. And everyone that I've seen that's seen that video has said something about it, how it's on point, it's done well.
Thank you.
It also makes sense. I don't know how else to say that. It makes sense with the vocals and the music and the instrumentation. It makes sense. So like when you have a hard rock song, okay, maybe if you're being ironic or you're being silly, right? If you have like a metal song and you have like Little Bunny Foo Foo, if you do it right, maybe you can pull it off, but it doesn't make sense. But what you guys do with your music videos is they always seem to make sense. They always mesh. And one of the ones,
Oh,
Undertow, I know that you guys actually went and you met with Houdini's. I can't remember the relation. Um,
yeah. So, Lady Houdini is. Do you want me to explain it? So basically, it was still with Scott Hansen, same exact video director, same studio location too as Perfect Drug, believe it or not. But I had this idea since. So we always go from the concept of the song. Okay, we take the concept that Oscar and I wrote about, how that made us feel, what are the lyrics, and we try to put that in a visual, and so, for example, like with Perfect Drug, it was we have two different sides of Perfect Drug, but I had just gotten out of a relationship. I canceled my engagement. I was not ready to be with somebody yet anymore. I wasn't ready. And so like it's like basically holding people at arm's length because you haven't healed yet. Like I can be your perfect drug, but like don't fall in love with me. Like I'm not ready. I'm not healed yet, but then like the bridge is like you kind of realizing that about yourself. Like, am I going to just be alone inside my hell forever, um and Oscar came at it with more of a like attitude of like being that monster when you've
Yeah.
been hurt,
And I think the big idea, just for, Perfect Drug in particular, was that we were trying to be like these larger than life, untouchable figures, because that's kind of how we wanted to like portray ourselves. Kind of like we don't let people get too close, you can't get too close. And that's kind of what we're talking about in the song, is just those themes and ideas that we were like, we're saying it's these uh, images that we're trying to put up that just really push forward that idea of untouchable for that song. But
Yeah.
for Undertow, it was a whole different vibe. I mean, if you saw, we're in a
What's Undertow about?
Undertow is about feeling overwhelmed and feeling like you're under pressure, being in a new situation where you're just trapped and like the world's caving in on you, like the walls are pushing in. And this idea of going crazy, like not feeling right in your own head. So we thought it'd be best to start that in an insane asylum. And, me wrapped up in like a straight jacket, like bashing my head against the wall, like in an electric chair, like ready to, like lose my mind.
Yeah.
But then Elise had the amazing idea of along the lines of being trapped in
Drowning. Like I feel
drowning.
like a lot of times when I get overwhelmed or stressed with things, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I'm drowning. Like and I feel like when I'm drowning the most, people don't help me, like nobody's gonna pick me up, but they will watch, they will see, they'll check they'll see how you're doing and that sort of thing. But they just watch from afar and they like let it burn. They let you drown, And so I thought, well, what if I wake up in this tank, you know, this asylum is mostly like they're testing our fight or flight responses. They don't care about us. They might just like be taking notes or whatever. What if I wake up in this tank and I have like these waterproof electrodes on my head and my chest, and the tank starts filling with water, and I'm banging on the tank telling them to get me out? I'm gonna die in here if you don't let me out. And they don't care. They're writing down my vitals. Interesting, you know, like they're taking down the information, but they're not helping me. And then it's getting up to my chin and I can't breathe. The water's going through my nose, you know, and it was a stressful situation. And I wanted you to feel like I was drowning, you know, and
because in parts she was.
I was.
She was.
For the art, you know.
She was singing while drowning.
Yeah, but so I wanted that water tank, but water tanks are very expensive, you know, to rent for music videos. So I thought that, well, what if we just reach out to a bunch of magicians, you know, that do the water torture escape, you know.
Right.
And so Layton, she has tripled Houdini's the water cell torture device, and where she's in a full straight jacket and everything, and she performs the escape, and she always does it to the song Linkin Park Drowning or Crawling. And so anyway, so she always does it to Crawling by Linkin Park. She loves rap rock. And so I sent her our music and she loved it. And she decided to meet with us and set up the tank and everything like that. So that was real. That was a real tank. And like really, and it was with her real chains. Like I didn't wear the straight jacket just for video purposes, but like those chains were real. And so like they're supposed to be heavy and not let you float to the top. You can't go up for air, you know. So once the water was actually up to my head, I couldn't stand on my tippy toes anymore to get more air. Like I had to, you know, get out, and it was insane.
No, that was a really crazy one. Out of curiosity, does anybody want to see part of the music video for Perfect Drug? I've got it right here.
Hey.
If you guys want me to play it, I can.
You should totally play it.
I'm gonna make sure it's the right one because I've got a couple. Because you remember I was clipping it for the reel, and I'm like I'm sitting here looking like, is it this one or is it the short one or the long one? Let me check. Whoops, that went on the wrong screen. Okay.
That's so badass.
Seen a lot of good.
Thank you so much.
Ryan, yes.
Creative idea for sure. I love that.
What's going on,
good.
everyone?
Well, I hope you guys like the next one that's going to be coming out soon.
Oh, I know we will because it's amazing. And I know there's people in the chat that they've not heard your music, but they tend to come through for I endorse people that I bring on. And people I generally don't endorse trash music. So if you're here,
okay, cool. Perfect, good sign,
you're
feedback.
Good.
I'm just saying. I mean, I'm not trying to be like toot toot. I'm just saying that's it is what it is. So
yeah.
If you guys want to see it, I will play it right now.
Yeah,
let's do this.
Let's go.
Okay, I gotta remember.
Woo!
All right, so I'm going to share my entire screen on one screen. So if anything pops up, y'all just don't say anything about it. Like a little bit ratchet. It's okay.
We're all happy, free loving adults. All
right, can you see that? Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Okay. I love how Pug Mama had a typo and called it Cat's Samp of Approval. It's a new word. It's a samp.
Gotta use that. TM.
All right, you ready? Let's go. I don't know how loud this is going to be, so y'all. Fuck it. Crank it up. Gives a shit.
Another message left unopened. I didn't call at the end of the night. You say you love me, open and honest, till the truth makes you die inside. I have your heart, baby, I don't want it. I haven't healed since my last goodbye. I'll be the shadow in your closet. I'll be the ghost in between your thighs. Don't ever fall.
The penance paid, laid on the altar of the sage.
I'll be your
A consequence, you let yourself inside my cage. what I want, I'ma have it. Better go down and show you this magic. Look up at me when I lavish. Success, baby girl, you know you're the baddest. Playing the game for the challenge. Use what I want every night to advantage. Yeah, I'm a psycho, a villainous person. I fuck up your vitals, saying I'm spiteful. The king came with a title, made you a typo. It never could happen, you fuck with an idol. Yeah, I'm entitled, the prodigal son, straight out the Bible. The penance paid, laid on the altar of a sage. A consequence, you let yourself inside my cage. Crying out to the God who left, icy veins and I'm all you get. Told you I don't play around with death. Call my name and I'll leave you blessed.
I know this all too well, but I don't trust myself. A ghost within my shell, alone inside my head. Alone inside my head. Alone inside my head. Don't ever
The penance paid, laid on the altar of a sage. A consequence, you let yourself inside my cage. Crying out to the God who left, icy veins and I'm all you get. Told you I don't play around with death. Call my name and I'll leave you blessed. Yeah. Call my name and I'll leave you blessed.
Okay. So that, if I can find my mouse, that was Perfect Drug. The music video
Yeah,
with the fit
that was amazing. I was
The
so
coat
happy.
had to have the.
and the 8
I love it.
outfits that you had on. Like, my gosh. And you looked
Thank you so
absolutely
much.
gorgeous. Oh my God. It's
Aw,
ridiculous.
thank you.
But no. And there you go.
Oh, everybody was saying like that was sick. That was incredible. Thank you
Oh,
guys.
thank
We
you
really
guys so much
appreciate
for
that
checking it out.
so much. Hell yeah, you added us on Spotify. Awesome. I love that.
No, honestly, I mean that is, to me, is the perfect example of why everybody needs to be checking out what you're doing and following what you guys are doing and what you're coming out with, because it's hard to top some of these videos you've already done. I don't know how you're going to do it, but I have every bit of faith in you guys that you're going to. However, I mean, that kind of song, for anybody that was raised around the late 90s, early 2000s, anybody who's a fan of Linkin Park, rap rock, all of that, that's perfect.
Well, thank you.
Aw, thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
And you can
Yeah,
see them in there.
Yeah, we grew up with those influences for sure. I mean, duh, right? But like, that was big for the both of us. Like growing up, listening to Linkin Park, and the energy and emotion, and just everything they put into their music was just such a big example for us. And I think for a lot of our influences over the years, that's a lot of what we try to put into our music is just our emotion, our feelings, and how we can connect that to how other people may be feeling. So.
Yeah. And I like with, I don't know if you've noticed or not, but Oscar and I try to tell the same story, but not in a way where you guys are gonna think like we're dating, because we're not, But like Linkin Park, you don't assume that Chester and Mike Shinoda were dating, But a lot of bands that have like a female and a male vocalist, they always assume that the duet means that they're singing to each other or something like that. And
Right.
so we intentionally write our lyrics to we think of the concept, like what emotion are we feeling when we listen to this song? And we both write from our own stories, our own history, our own backgrounds, you know, just tell the same story but from two different perspectives. And so yeah, it's worked so
No,
far.
that makes sense. And I'm not gonna lie, I never took it that. I never like it didn't cross my mind, I guess, because you guys do it so well
Thank
that
you.
everyone's here for the music, and you can I mean, you get lost in the sound of it, you get lost in the instrumentals, you get lost in your vocals. Oh my god. And then,
Mm.
you know, you get the aggression from Oscar, which is really good. That one, I mean, that song in particular, the aggression is there, but it's not so much that it's like I don't know, tipping on the border of like being, oh, I'm gonna be a thug. You know what I'm saying? Like going that direction. It's actually got the
Mhm.
perfect amount of aggression. But when you got those clean vocals coming in behind it that are just so good. I mean, it's a perfect combination. And it's consistent throughout your different music videos and your songs. I mean, this is not a one off. This is every single one I've heard. Every one of them.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. I love that.
Yeah, I think that was the crazy thing about, like, you know, you never know where like life is gonna take you or the universe is gonna take you. Like I responded to a Craigslist ad for a band that was looking for, you know, a rapper to come on, and you know, we just tried it out, and Elise said my first rendition of a song I wrote was shit, and she like slapped me.
I didn't say it was shit. I
and
didn't
she threw
slap
my
him.
lyrics in the trash, and she was
That's
like,
a
"You're
lie.
garbage." But
Oh my god,
but
that's such a lie.
she gave me a second shot. You know, I tried again. I rewrote my lyrics, but that's kind of like we were going back to like the
Don't put
collab.
this on me, Ricky Bobby. No,
The collab part, you know, like that influence from her, and like, you know, sometimes you need to hear that, you know, what you're working on is not your best work, you know.
So I think it was the first time we've ever written together. I wrote the chorus already. I told him what my concept was that I was going for with that chorus and what I wanted to write about. And I think he overanalyzed so much because he was auditioning for the band, right? You know, and so like what came out of him felt forced. And so I asked him, I was like, I think you should stop thinking, stop, you know, imagining what I want, but it still needs to fit the same like concept, you know, of what I wrote the chorus about. But you know, fill that however you want. It's as long as it's fitting the same emotion, we're gonna be golden, you know. And the second time he wrote, perfect. It was amazing. It was like one of I think Cam's and Kenny's favorite verses you've ever written, you know. And so yeah, then there he was. Then he was in the band.
It's amazing how that works.
Yeah.
Like, did you obviously? I'm sure that, and this is the way it always works. Before you all like ended up together in this dynamic with the six of you, like, just, you know what I'm saying? Did you ever picture it would be like this? I mean, I know that. Okay, let me clarify. Of course, you wanted to perform. Of course, you wanted to be successful. Of course, you wanted it to sound amazing. Of course, you wanted to have a killer band. But honestly, is this what you pictured? Like, did you really, or were you just had the hopes? Like, or did you say, yeah, we're getting exactly what we wanted?
Oh, wow. I think that's a really good question. Because I would say, and Elise may differ from me on here, I would say I got exactly what I was looking for and wanted, and what I knew was going to happen. I'm a big hippy dippy manifest things into reality kind of guy. So I've been really seeing us, you know, be successful, because I met a great group of people who we all meshed well together. We all work really hard for what we want. You know, and we all had a real serious conversation with each other at the beginning of this about what we wanted to do with this, you know,
Right.
and how hard we were willing to work for what we wanted. So, I mean, when you put a group of people in a room together like that, who just were willing to work for what they want, I mean, how can you not see things going well? You know, so I think for me, it was always where I saw us going. And I think even surpassed that by so much. Like, I'm so happy with everything we've been putting out, how we work together, how we yell at each other and fight with each other in the best ways possible.
There's no yelling.
So much yelling. and And
They're gonna come out of this thinking that we're just like super aggressive.
those guys just fight all the time.
Which is funny because our live shows, like we push and pull on each other because it's part of the live show, you know, is having that
Right.
dynamic
That's the
aggression.
fun part. That's
But
the
like
fun part.
that's, you know, real life we get along. Like, you know, like,
So a lot
You're
of
like
that.
shoving
your
each
head.
other around on stage. Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
what
So
you said
still-
earlier when you were in the bathroom and you wouldn't get out and I had to pee? I'm getting you back, like on stage.
So you have, for real, like that's literally what it is. And sometimes
Now
I've
she's
taken
joining
a
you.
boot to the
What
face.
is happening?
Thank you. You see this. Like
Stop trolling me. Stop trolling. This is not a thing.
But no, I think, you know, it's really cool how, you know, the connection we have and just the energy we're able to bring in, like our lyrics and our songs, right? Like that emotion, like we bring that to the stage 110%. And that's what we're trying to
Right.
do. Like we do not take a breath that whole set. Like we are go, go, go. And because we want the crowd to be with us. Like I thrive off the energy I feel with the crowd. And I know Elise does too. Like that's where we live, you know, and like that 30, 45 minutes that we can just have with the crowd and like bouncing that energy off each other and just like yelling our freaking lungs out, like feels amazing. That's where we belong.
Yeah, our live shows are intense. Have you ever been to our live show yet?
Mm-mm. I
Oh
haven't
my
been.
God.
Okay,
So-
let me be very super clear. I
Uh-huh.
have been to one concert in 17 years.
Oh wow.
I just went on the
Boom.
We
19th.
just gotta get bigger. We just gotta get bigger.
we gotta make that next 17-year mark.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying.
Well, 20 I and everybody like that know that people that know me that have like watched the podcast like consistently and stuff, they've heard me say it 2023. I'm putting myself out there. I'm doing new things. I'm actually, because I'm a hermit. I don't go anywhere. I literally, my work computer's right here. And then here's like where I stream. And this is where I am like 8 hours a day plus whatever I'm working on, which is, you know, I spend hours a day working on
I totally
either
get it.
this or networking or making images, graphics, whatever. So I said 2023, I'm going to do something different. I've got a Vegas trip planned with a bunch of YouTubers, my friends. We're going to Vegas in May. I went to the Rockzilla concert. I've got our last night, Fame on Fire tickets for the 10th of this month. It's their, you know, the opening date of their tour. Like I'm trying here to get out there, but that was
Oh,
the
yeah.
first time. And I went to see Falling in Reverse and Papa Roach and Hollywood Undead. Like, come on now.
Amazing.
That's a good way to
Talk
jump
about
in.
like if you're gonna do one, you might. I mean,
We got to hang out with Jacoby at Welcome to Rockville. He's
Oh, yeah.
such an amazing
Nice.
oh,
person.
so nice.
Like
so nice.
so our radio promo rep used to be his manager. So he was just like, "Oh, come on in!" Like into this trailer, and like we were just like chilling with Jacoby and the Papa Roach people, and they played Perfect Drug in the trailer for like the whole song. They played the whole song, and he was like,
Nice.
"You look good in red, bro. You look good in red." And he was like,
well,
"This is some real shit." He was like, "This is some real shit," and I was like, "Oh, this is amazing. I love this. Papa Roach, that's amazing."
it's not often you get to see like Jacoby from Papa Roach listen to your song and be like, "That's pretty cool."
Yeah, awesome.
I get that. I got surprised. Now, I shouldn't have been surprised. I should have paid more attention. Like, you know when you think you pay attention, but you don't, and then you get like completely blindsided? I had a podcast with John Widowmaker. By the way, shout out. Happy birthday, John Widowmaker. It's his birthday today. He has a band called John Widowmaker. Obviously, he's the lead vocalist. And yes, I see Ben going to the beatbox competition in Virginia. Yes, I am definitely going to that with a bunch of other people too. But so I had John Widowmaker and the band come on to the podcast. And he's like, "Yeah, well, let me get Logan. It's going to be me and Logan." I'm like, "Okay, cool. Right?" And my brain stopped because they pop up on screen and there's John and there's Logan Mader. And I'm like, well, shit, that Logan, like Machine Head, Only Human, Five Finger Death Punch producer, or Logan Mader. I'm like, oh, fuck. I mean, blew my mind completely because I knew who he was and I knew he was there with John, but it didn't click. And I got blindsided and I got to sit and talk to him, and which I thought was amazing because I really respect what he does and he's amazing at what he does. So when you get to actually sit down and have a conversation with people that you truly look up to and you respect and you support, and you want to see do well, it's like the best thing ever. That's why I do this. It's like my favorite thing is to be able to just have a human conversation with people that you usually wouldn't.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think for us a lot too, getting to meet like fans after shows and have those kind of conversations, you know what I mean? Like you only get to really tell them your story on stage, but then like after the show, like we stick around, like we love to meet fans and get to hear their side of the story and their interpretation. And, you know, a lot of people have come, you know, telling us about like crazy stories or difficult times they've been through. So getting to like, that's why we do it, you know, like we wanted you to feel like you're not alone in this. And then like we get to share these stories with each other.
Yeah.
Like that's incredible.
Yeah.
Well,
Which by the way, is it Ben? Ben, I see you've said multiple times, you've asked if we are coming to Virginia. I don't have a Virginia date yet, but we are currently planning our tour right now with a really big band that I'm very excited to announce, but I'm not allowed to announce it yet. We'll wait until it's confirmed. But the only thing booked so far is we're going to Appalachian Festival in June. That's in West Virginia. That's close. And then we have the Oyster Bake Festival with Saint Asonia and POD in San Antonio, and that's in April. And then the tour that's going to be announced is like mid-April through end of May. So that one hasn't been announced yet. I don't know the venues, so like follow our stuff, follow our Facebook, like go on Facebook and like follow our events from there, because then you'll be able to see the tour dates once I find them out too. We'll learn at the same time.
I'm pretty sure the Appalachian one is in Virginia.
Oh, cool.
Pretty sure it's in Virginia, and I'm pretty sure it's at the venue that he hangs out at. I'm pretty sure.
Brandon Wright?
No, Ben.
Oh, Ben.
Oh, no way.
Oh, amazing. Ben, well then come see us at the Appalachian Festival. We're literally going to be there.
Yeah, and see, I'm going to Virginia within
Yay.
like a week and a half prior, I think, or after, one of the two, to that in June, for the beatbox competition that he hosts. Like he runs that thing. Like he puts it all together, gets all of these I'm talking like world-class beatboxers to come out. And so we're all going to be flying in there to hang out. And unfortunately, it's like with my kids and stuff, I can't take the whole week and a half, or I would just stick around until and see that too. And I would see you guys, but that's why when you're like San Antonio, I'm like, I could probably make that. I could swing that. No, I'm serious. Like I'm here for that.
We'd love to see you there. 100%.
Yeah, you should come up with a beatbox, and then like, I don't know, we can see what we can do over the beatbox. I think that'd be so much fun. Yeah, we should practice. Actually, Oscar wants to challenge you to a beatboxing duel. I think that would be more fun, right?
Well, Ben, the people that are going to be there are the world champions, like the ones like well, like all of them. If you know anything about the beatboxing community.
I'll go ahead and put it on there for the record. I do not want to challenge world championship beatboxers at beatboxing. We could go to Denny's after.
Perfect.
We could chill, hang out. I'm cool.
Yes, thank you for putting those links in the chat. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Y'all check them out on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, live and in concert. By the way, I am a firm believer that live concerts should be witnessed live. I don't like watching live on like camera. Like I want to be there because it hits different. Because like I went to that concert, and then the footage afterwards where people like, oh look, here's the footage. It was not the same when my like brain was rumbling with the bass and then the guitars and the drum. Like it was making my brain like. And then you hear it, it's like, I'm like, that's not what it was like.
Cut it.
The beat would drop, right? The music would drop, especially for those type of bands and like your type of band, that it would drop and you don't catch it. It doesn't hit the same when you're not there with the speakers and the venue and the people and everybody screaming and cheering and singing along. And it's just a whole different thing. That's my
Yes, yes.
opinion. I know people love live performances on YouTube and stuff, and that's good for them. You know, to eat different strokes, different folks. It's all good. But for me, I prefer it live.
I mean,
That's what I
we're
mean.
super energy live. Like, I mean, like we're constantly headbanging. We're pushing and pulling each other. Kenny and is just a force to be reckoned with, headbanging, and he's like a beast, you know, screaming through the microphone. And Cam, our keyboardist, well, he plays all the instruments. He plays rhythm guitar and keyboard, but he'll like climb the light towers. We have programmed lights during our show, and he will climb the light towers, and he has wireless keyboards at the top of the light towers, and he'll fucking headbang on top of that, you know, like while he plays. It's an insane show. So I hope you guys
That's
like
crazy.
it.
That sounds like a lot of
See,
fun.
you gotta get back out there. 17 years is too long.
Doing some cool
Too
shit.
Well, no, and here's a fun little fact. I actually, when I went to the concert, right? I'm not tiny. I'm fluffy. I'm pear shaped. It's okay. Um, I'm also work on computers and I'm sitting most of the time, so I'm not used to standing for like 7 hours, right? I fucked my knee up so bad,
Oh
like standing
no.
there, because I was in VIP, but the chairs were like this tall, and I'm like, how is a short 5'2" fat chick supposed to get up on a chair that's this big? It was like this big because they were fitting 4 of them in these little box seats. I'm like, really? So when
Dude.
you sit to like balance on them, even my friend that was there with me had to balance too, and we were balancing, but I used my right leg to plant, kind of like this, ruined my calf muscle. It's been hurting for 2 weeks in my knee. Like I'm like can't even
No.
walk. And today,
No.
it's like all of a sudden, it's like, hey, you can walk now. I'm like, okay, like I'm here for that. Yeah, that was fun. Now I know what not to do, which is trying to
Yeah,
like
not
perch up on like a stool this tall.
Or combine the stools, one for each cheek,
Well,
I
and that would have been. I really should have done that because the people. I picked the wrong spot. So you have the 4 spots in the VIP box, right? And to the
Yeah.
balcony. So I had my friend because she's skinnier, so I figured she needed to be in front of me. Trying to be nice here. And I picked this side because it was easier to get in and out of or whatever, and she wanted that side too. The people that came and shared the box with us, they decided to stand the whole time, and we're at an angle. So I had bald dude in front of me the entire performance. I had to hold like my camera like that, trying to get video, and it was just
Oh no.
it was a thing. But you learn, right? If you're not used to it, you don't know the nuances of what you need and shouldn't do, stuff like that. What's up, Chill Rock?
It's a process.
Yeah. You learn something new every day, so it's all good. But I was gonna ask you, do you guys have physical copy albums?
We are
Kind
ordering
of my thing.
like so we are the boys, the other boys in our band are upstairs right now making the 6-panel digipack because I wanted our lyrics in there and everything like that, and so we're making this massive
It's gonna be a whole
thing that will unfold, and it will have like all of our album covers, and it will have like all of our single covers, from the single releases, and it'll have our lyrics and everything like that, and just some fun things that we want to give people. So
some nifty gifties.
Yeah, we're making it right now. We're gonna have it before we have our next show. So if you come to our next tour, you'll definitely be able to get physical copies, and I'll make some way for our website to be able to where you can buy the CD from there too.
Yeah, because I mean, I honestly, not all of these are. Not all of them are signed, but most of them are, and a lot of them are personalized. Like this right here, this is my brand new. I just got it. If you guys didn't notice, I'm scooting everything up because I have more in my mailbox to put up. I got Citizen Soldier. I've got Prof. I've got a couple other people. This is As the Structure Fails. They're a metal band from Canada. I love those guys. They're awesome. They signed it. You can't see, but they all signed the picture. And then personalized it on the back. So I frame it. Everything that, and most of the people up here, I either know personally or I've interviewed. Not all of them, but most of them. So it's just something, I always want to show love to the people that I support and people that I really rock with and people that, I appreciate. And this might not be, I mean, I thought it worked. I thought it made sense. So I'm obsessed with physical copies, especially autographed ones.
Yeah, I mean, we every time we after a show, we're always there hanging out with the fans at the merch table, and we sign so many things. We sign drumsticks, and yeah, we're down for writing anything personalized to you, especially if you share like a story of like this song. You related to it because of X or whatever. Wow, these lyrics really hit me because of what I feel like we really relate to those people, and so like it's easier for us to get in your head when you tell us a little bit about yourself and like why
Right.
the music is resonating with you. Then we can really write something, that's from the heart for you.
Well, I've noticed that we went from like the 90s, 2000s, right? We had the physical copy CDs, we had the lyric book in the front, that whole thing that was like a map. You can never put it back together, right?
Mhm.
That thing. So, and we had all those big CD cases and everything, and we all went to streaming. So now more artists and more bands have more opportunities to be heard and to make it out there because, maybe they can be heard on TikTok, they can be heard on Instagram, or someone shares them and just the right person at the right time hears them, right? And so it's more digital, but then you have it where artists and bands were kind of like on this pedestal where they were untouchable, completely untouchable, right? But now, in order to break out, since so many bands and artists can be heard, there's thousands and thousands and thousands every day, right? You have to stand out. So you have to humanize yourself again. And so you have to interact with your fans, you have to do all that stuff. And then all of a sudden, after all that, like we went on this big plateau and then we're going back down again and okay, humanize yourself, be on the same level. And now physical copies are coming back. Like everyone wants them. I know.
100%. Your cassettes are coming back?
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, cassettes are making a comeback.
I didn't know.
I don't know where you're going to play a cassette, but I heard they're making a comeback.
Yeah, then they got to buy like a
Walkmans are coming back.
Yeah, old.
Well, of course, vinyl is always a thing.
Yeah.
Vinyl's always going to be a thing. Collector vinyls are huge. I mean, I don't have the wall space, but somebody else might. But I know people, they just really like having it. I like them for a different reason. I'm that weird person who started collecting the physical copies because I'm like, well, what if the world shuts down and then they're going to turn off Spotify and then I'll still have my music neener neener.
Wow, that is weird. That's extremely weird.
No, I know.
I love it.
No, I'm just kidding.
That's the thing, though. No, think about it. Because if they shut down Spotify, people are screwed. What are they going to do? Cry about it? I mean, what are they going to do? Really? Nothing. Because they did that on, like, was it Netflix or somewhere? They had licensed for movies that people bought through that service, like Google or YouTube, whatever it was. Like, they bought the movie and it was available on the digital platform. Well, then the 15-year contract between Disney and that whatever the streaming service was ended. So they pulled all their content off that platform. Anyone that had paid for it was gone.
Dude,
and I'm like,
no way.
Ain't doing that to me. Like the world goes to shit. I'm busting these out, man.
You thought ahead. You've seen this coming.
People are doomsday preppers.
Apocalypse.
I'm the DJ at the doomsday apocalypse.
Yeah, if the internet ever goes out, like you can still listen to your CDs in the luxury of your own home.
I love that is part of your doomsday collection. Like a lot of people get like beans and bags of rice, and like nobody thinks of the CDs, and you're fucking prepared. Yeah. Cat's got it.
Yeah.
I got you. Like for real, I'm gonna be like on the Titanic. I'm in the music that's going. Well, it's all going down. We're gonna be rocking our socks off. Like that's how that's gonna work.
Such a vibe.
Perfect.
Such a vibe.
See, they like CDs too. CDs for life, baby. Exactly. No, it's just a thing. It's a fun thing, and I just think it's a good way to support. It's a good way to support. Plus, the artwork is awesome. And I love talking about the people that I've talked to, and I love talking to people, and I always want to put like if you had one, I would have bought it already. If I found you had one and I hadn't bought it already, I would buy it now. So, and it would be like in one of these 5 spots that I have open, that I opened up. Look, my flag's crooked, but whatever.
Ooh.
Because I think I only have 4
No, but
coming.
we gotta fight through your mailbox though, apparently, because you got so many in your mailbox.
No, I'm just a hermit. I don't go to my mailbox. It's like up the
Oh,
street, down the road somewhere, and I go
uh-huh.
like every week or so to check it because it's all bills. I don't want that. Nobody wants bills. But no, I mean, in all honesty, I love what you guys are doing. And I know that everybody that, like I've said this like 3 times, it doesn't matter. I'm going to say it again. Everybody that listens to your music or talks to me about, hey, I just listened to what, the band that's on your story. I just listened to them and they're awesome. Every single time you guys are killing it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really
And you
appreciate
guys are
that.
sweet. And thank God you made it back to the United States because that was a whole thing.
Oh my God, you were watching?
Oh.
She follows my regular, my personal Instagram. I didn't put that on the Lilac Instagram, so yeah, you must have been following my personal Instagram. I got stuck in Iceland for like 4 extra days because the wind was it was just high power wind that the planes they just refused to fly, and the
planes themselves were
no,
like, no,
stop. I'm saying that like they were just refusing to fly, like I think it was like all flights. So if not, it was definitely international flights. I wasn't able to like leave at all, and so luckily they gave me a hotel and place to stay, which was really nice. But like it's at the same time like I got to get back to my job eventually. I had to get at least on US soil in order to be able to work remotely. So I was just like, okay, I don't care if you get me back to like the band is from North Carolina. I don't care if you get me back to North Carolina, just like get me somewhere in the States so I can plug in my work laptop and like not like stop, taking all my PTO. But yeah, it was fun. I mean, it was very windy, but it was beautiful.
Well, that's the comment that I had made when you were going through all that was like, I'm stuck in Iceland, says no one ever.
I mean, but to be fair, if it's crazy windy to where even the tours, they're all canceling and stuff like that because the buses, they're saying that the buses are going to tip over because of how windy it is.
Shorter buses. Like, well, it's not hard. Make sure get in a car. Can they not drive you in a car?
Yep, you can totally drive around in a car, very windy, but yeah, you can totally do that. And that's what I had to do for a couple of the days.
We were voting. Remember, we were voting that you like take an umbrella, like Mary Poppins umbrella, and just like fly home.
Oh man, I mean,
just like open an umbrella, and then you'll end up at home, just eventually.
Easy.
Okay,
just
so
hold
our
on,
next
really hard.
video idea, right? I like danger, so it's a good
Yeah.
music video idea.
There you
for
go.
The next
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, like I want to get more and more dangerous every single music video. So I think that's a good one for eventually.
Umbrella
just
for
like
travel.
catch a wind.
This is real. Like,
Trademark. No one's ever
like-
done that. It's our thing now.
like I come back like however many days later, like it's just like it's been half of a year. Just,
singing to us to help us do our chores.
I've gone crazy.
Yeah.
The umbrella.
She's doing a whole Mary
Music
Poppins
to
thing.
vacuum by.
Oh God. That's a Lilac
Champagne Rain.
playlist.
She wants to know, when do tour dates come out again? Like, once they're confirmed, do you think they're like this month or maybe next month?
We are working on that right now.
Yeah. Within the next couple weeks, it should be announced. We are internally confirming it by end of week next week. But they're saying we should know tomorrow or early next week. But it's not going to be announced for a couple weeks.
Trying to keep it a secret. Build the hype.
Houston.
You can come see us in San Antonio if you want to. Like, I mean, we'll play
for sure,
and then
we
get to
eat
oysters together. Don't you want to eat oysters with Lilac?
And
I've never had an oyster in my life.
Really? Oh my God, I love oysters so much.
Elise would love to have an oyster with
I
you.
love oysters. I can show you the world. Like I can. We can totally do this. Like, okay, you don't have to start off with raw oysters. We'll start off with like some baked oysters with cheese and bacon. It's good. It will be great, you know? And then we'll move you into like steamed oysters, you know, with like a hot sauce and the Meunier sauces and stuff, you know? And then if you're feeling froggy, then you can try a raw oyster. But you know, we'll start you with baked oysters first, I think. That's a good like that's how I get people into oysters.
She's the influential person your mom warned you about.
Well, no, because here's the thing: you went on a food tour, like so. Obviously, you like trying new stuff. Me, I'm the person who I always know what I'm going to order every single time because I don't deviate. Like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like sincerely. So, but if I make it to San Antonio, which I don't see why I wouldn't, but if I make it to San Antonio, I will eat an oyster with you.
Yes.
Of any type. Of any type.
Yes. Okay.
I don't care which kind it is to start.
Yes.
I make that promise if I make it out there, which I intend to, but you know, that's like in good faith. I'm making that promise.
If you do, I never eat before I sing. But after I'm done singing, I will totally take you up on that, and I will show you an oyster. Like,
well, because I'll have to be crashing in San Antonio that night anyway, so I'll have to get a hotel. So
okay, so
I'll
you're saying we're gonna party all night, is what you just said. Everybody in the chat heard that. Cat's coming out to San Antonio. We're gonna spend all night getting crazy.
No,
they know. They know. I had two of my YouTuber friends came for my birthday last year in June. Came to my last house, and man, we killed some tequila, bro. We didn't even have to go anywhere. Like we were live the entire time. They were live acting a fool. I was just drinking all the tequila. They were too. They still, my laptop still hasn't recovered from tequila on it. Yeah, I'm that person. Like I'm happy to go party. I'm good with that.
I think it's so fun. I think it's fun to do, get a little bit crazy on some of your lives, you know, keep people on their toes. Tomorrow I'm doing a truth or dare on our Instagram live. And so all the band members, they're writing like ridiculous dares for me. And yeah, I'm going to like spin a wheel and I'm going to be like, oh God, you know, like Oscar, why did you do this to me? It's going to be great, you know? And then I'm going to take the truths from the chat. I think it would be good.
No, I think that's going to be awesome. Yeah, guys, everybody follow them on Instagram because that you're going to go be on the Lilac one, right?
Mm-hmm. I'll be on the Lilac.
I didn't know if it was going to be your personal one or not. I'm like, well, you know. But definitely, if you go follow Lilac on Instagram, if you haven't already, which most people probably have because you guys are awesome. But in all honesty, like, oh, there was something I was going to bring up. What was it? Oh, there's fun fact, y'all. Like, sincerely, y'all literally work remotely, like all y'all.
Yes,
like,
we do.
I feel like I'm like, thank God for COVID because I got a remote job now, and now I can be like stick my head in the sand, and I don't have to deal with things. Like I can just roll out of bed and clock in, sleep in that extra 6.5 minutes. But
yeah,
like all you guys work in some capacity, but it's all remote. Like so you can tour, you can like be in different locations, which I think is really not only it's smart, it's really cool.
We did it.
That you guys have that in common.
We did it. So half of us were already remote workers, but Kenny and I were not. So we actually got remote jobs to be able to have more time for the band and be able to be out on tour. So this is our first like experience with what it's like. It's wild, especially when we were out on the West Coast and having 5 a.m. wake up calls and going to bed at 1 a.m. every night for a long time.
Well, so like, I mean, yeah, we're
really
right now. I mean, it's kind of it's a blessing, but it's also, trying to figure out how to juggle it all, right? Because bands back in the day, they had to either quit their jobs and struggle living in a car and only making enough in tips to get them to the next venue, right? And it was like a lot of bands talked about how they could barely eat or anything like that because they couldn't afford food going from these places. And so like Papa Roach, even when we were talking to Jacoby, he said that he would go home, he would like go, was it bartending or
Some.
server? It was either bartending or server, but he would go home and he would try to make as much as he possibly could within a short period of time before they go on the road, and he wasn't able to work, you know?
Right.
And so they would just like try to make as much money as possible before they left. And obviously he said it's a problematic because by the end of the tour, you know, you spent more than you anticipated, or, you know, like as problems happen, like tires and stuff like that, you know, pop, you never know, you know, you got to be ready for that kind of thing. And so then you're broken, you're hungry by the end of the tour. And so with us, I knew that we're not going to be signed right away. We're not going to be signed right now. You know, we need to build our brand. We need to build our name and get people to know us and find that awareness and that exposure, you know. And until then, we got to work our day jobs, you know. But I don't want that to prevent us from getting on massive tours. You know, if we can only take 3 days off, or, you know, whatever, or if you got to work that weekend or whatever, then we're not going to be able to play these shows. Yep. So we talked very early on about like, okay, if you're not in a remote job, please try to get in a remote job by this time. And it worked, because in October we did the tour with New Year's Day, and I think all of us worked. Like, we didn't take PTO like at all, no days off. We just worked during the day, and then that night we would load in, sound check, play, take all the stuff back into the bus, you know, like load back up and yeah,
and take turns driving. We did not have a driver or anything like that. So we were all driving, we were all packing, we were all moving, we were all working during the day, working at night, driving at night, sleeping 2 hours, and doing it all over
for
again.
an entire month. We were out juggling work and band and not taking time off. It was insane. But they did it, and they did it now. So it's
let
good.
me shout you guys out for this, because here's the thing. I know from personal experience. I work a full-time job. I do work from home, which is my saving grace. Okay. I do everything for this podcast. It's all me. Every single thing is me. The graphics are me. The videos are me. The scheduling, the networking, everything's me. Plus, I'm a single mom. And so I know how it is to have to, and I'm not even talking about, because I'm lucky enough where I can schedule, and when I start getting overwhelmed, I can kind of push it back just a little bit, right? But I mean, you guys are like go, and not only do you have all these people's schedules to coordinate, right? Who has to work when and what's going on, but you can't stop because you're moving and you're shaking and you're going to here and then you're going to there. Me, I can kind of back off if I'm getting a little bit burnout, but scheduling all those people and then consistently keeping up with work, that's not easy. Like, that's huge. It's almost harder. I mean, yeah, you might not have as much to eat, or you might be worried about money if you don't have a job, but yet you can literally sink yourself into the experience in your band. You have to put on these two hats and flip back and forth, and you have to make sure that you're being responsible and that you're, keeping a good rapport with your work and a good rapport with these, especially on tour and everything, and, coordination. It takes a lot. And the fact that you have 6 people that are pulling this off at the same time just shows how well you work together and how well you mesh. And I think it's amazing. Personally, I mean, super shout out for that. That's not easy. And anyone that thinks it is crazy.
No, and that's why I feel so fortunate, like I said from the beginning, to find a group of people who are willing to put in this work. Because I mean, like, for real, it's 6 people. Like, how often do you like coordinate with 6 people so they all are like, okay, I'm gonna put my life aside, I'm gonna like focus on this, I'm gonna make this a priority, like this, between 6 people, this goal that we together are gonna like push this forward, still manage my own life. Like, I'm so impressed by everybody. I'm so fortunate to be surrounded by such a good group of people. And it's been an amazing journey so far. I'm so excited to see like how it evolves as we like schedule our next tour coming up and
we're getting a driver next time.
Yeah,
we're not gonna do this tour without a driver.
Learn, you know what I mean? It's
we learn. Lessons learned every time, right? Yeah, I saw that. So our RV doesn't need a CDL license, actually, because our RV actually takes gas. So you don't need a CDL license.
Send that resume.
But yeah, feel free to hit us up on Instagram and tell us about your driving experience and we would need you to sleep during the shows though, you know, like you have to sleep, like you drive at night while we're sleeping, and then you need to sleep during the day while we're loading the gear. And
we were the least partying band ever.
Good. I want us to get the job done. We gotta be. This is especially now that we're starting out. We need to make a good impression.
Priorities. That's all that is. You guys have your head out of your ass and your priorities straight.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know that it's too easy and I do it too sometimes. I'm the same. Oh, there's hi mom.
Hi mom.
There's the same.
Hi mom.
I'll go to bed at 1:00 in the morning, and I'll have to be up at like 5 or 6 to get my daughter on the school bus. You know, I do that all the time, and I regret it. It builds up, right? But it's my fault. But when you have 6 people and you have to coordinate the schedules, and you have to all get on the same page. Do you know what I'm saying? It's to have your priorities straight and your goals set, and to all be that way, because it only takes one to completely throw off the dynamic. It's like it's literally like you're all like spinning, but you're all like spinning at the same time. Someone steps off and it's like, woo, it goes crazy, right? It throws everything off. It's not easy, but I mean, seriously, kudos to you guys for getting that stuff. I mean, having your head on straight. I don't know how else to put that. There's no other way.
Thank you. We're just trying to be as professional as we can and really show everyone in the industry and bands we work with and, people like yourself that like, we're here to work. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like we're just a hardworking group of people that have this goal in mind of what we want to do and the kind of people we want to reach and the amount of people we want to be able to reach with our music. And we're just going to literally, we're putting everything we have into this.
Yeah.
So
this whole industry is so much about making connections. So if you make one bad connection, it travels, you know? And so like the more connections you make and the more birdies are talking into other birdies' ears, talking about Lilac, and then those people are talking about Lilac. And when you hear Lilac from all sides, it generates more oomph, what's the word for it? I mean, and so like momentum, you know what I'm saying? And so in order to keep the oomph and momentum going, you gotta keep that professionalism, keep those networking, just make everyone have a positive experience and have good things to say about you. And I think it travels.
Well, you have to have the trust. You have to build the trust and maintain it. And because it matters. Is everybody done upstairs?
I think so. They just came downstairs laughing.
Which means we got to get back to work.
No, I completely get that. And we've been going for about an hour and 10 minutes. And I can't thank you guys enough for spending the time with us. I know that everybody that's here has been thrilled to have you here. And just to be able to talk to you and just kind of pick your brains a little bit and just tell you how much we really do like your music and how much I really appreciate you guys. And we're looking forward to everything you're coming out with. But no, on that note, we're going to get out of here, y'all. I got to go say goodnight to my kiddo anyway. I think that's why mom popped in shot.
Hopefully we'll see you guys at our next couple live shows. We will be announcing the tour very soon. We'll see you at the festivals coming up. Love you guys. Thank you.
And follow them everywhere, everybody. Thank you again for being here. Thank you, everybody listening later. Thank you for everybody that showed up tonight. Please drop a comment. Please drop a like. Go follow. And we're out of here. Like, I'm going to make this fast. We're out, guys.